Individual, for liberty and justice for all. And just before you sit down, if we could just have a moment of silence. This last week, the borough, we lost somebody in the borough family, somebody who's been retired, Craig Spencer, who was long time, Public Works. We were talking a little bit about him downstairs tonight, that, always kind of a cocky little smile on him, but a guy that knew where every stinking pipe in this town was underground. He could walk you anywhere and tell you, oh yeah, the sewer runs here, that's how it goes, this is this. He was an ace, he was a great guy. So we just a second to remember, Craig Spence. Okay, thank you. Oh, my goodness. Girls comply with the provisions of Sunshine Law by adopting prior to January 10th of this year. A resolution prescribing the date, time, and location of all regular meetings of the commission. This meeting was a meeting with the such resolution, and copies of the resolution were prior to January 10th, filed with the borough.
Need a motion to file the minutes of January 6, 2025. And a motion to file the following reports: tax collector, municipal court, and zoning official.
Second.
Read the second reading and public hearing of ordinance 1799 to receive the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank.
So this is an ordinance that we do every year. You have to authorize exceeding the cap. And to enable you, the borough, if you don't use up all the cap, to bank that part of your cap for another year that you may need it. We're later tonight going to introduce our budget, which we aren't going to need this, but for good housekeeping, we adopt it every year just in case something happens, we have it so that we can, we have more flexibility with respect to our budget. This is the public hearing on the cap ordinance. Anyone like to bring anything before the commission? This is your opportunity to do so. Anyone? Okay, Hal?
Mayor Malley?
Yes.
Commissioner Wojciechowski?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson? Yes. Okay, we have the second reading of public hearing of ordinance 1800 appropriating $230,000 in the general capital improvement fund for improvements to borough-owned properties.
So this is taking money that was in our budget from prior years in what's called a capital improvement fund. When you're getting ready to spend it, you need to do an ordinance to say, okay, we're gonna spend this money now on this. This is money that's going toward the Pocket Park. The completion of that work on at the Pocket Park, that contract's been awarded. We're hoping that work starts in the next month, 6 weeks. Hope the weather holds up for us so we get that done, but the Pocket Park will be coming shortly. This is the public hearing on this ordinance. Anyone have anything like to bring before the commission? This is your opportunity to do so. Anyone? Okay, Hal?
Mayor Malley?
Yes.
Commissioner Wojciechowski?
Yes.
Commissioner Robinson?
Yes.
So next we have public comment on the resolution agenda. So if anyone has any questions, comments, anything they want to know about any of the resolutions that are on the agenda. I'm sorry, we'll get that. Anyone have any questions or comments on any of the items on the agenda? Okay, all right. We've got, we have one walk-on, one additional ordinance, which is an introduction of an ordinance that is granting to the Department of Transportation a temporary easement on, it's the triangle kind of down Haddon Avenue on the other side of Route 130 behind Dunkin' Donuts. I imagine for construction work, they're gonna be storing some things on that triangle, which we own. It's granting a temporary easement. This is an introduction of it. Final reading will be, public hearing and final reading will be at our March 3rd meeting. Okay, Tom?
Mayor Malley?
Yes.
Commissioner Wojciechowski?
Yes.
Commissioner Robinson? Yes.
Okay, resolutions.
Appointing Matthew Saronic as fire captain for the borough of Collinswood Fire Department.
Yes.
Appointing Paul Bonmasso as lieutenant for the borough of Collinswood Fire Department.
Yes.
Appointing Carl Jubb III as firefighter EMT for the borough of Collinswood Fire Department.
Can't believe this, but yes. So we're going to administer the oaths. It's only the beginning of judge discussion, but we're going to administer oaths. Chief, how do you want to So we do capital attendance. You got it, okay, Matthew. Matthew, and bring any family members, anybody else? Wow. Never good when it's little league kids that are swearing at. I state your name.
I, Matthew Serrano,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and to the governments
and to the governments
established in the United States
established in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties
all the duties
as fire captain for the Borough Common Fire Department
as fire captain for the Borough of Collinsville Fire Department,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations. I've been a big participant in some of the task force that have gone to other parts of the country when there's disasters that happen. And he's the boy been around here for all his life. Okay, next is. Now is where we're going. Good job. I state your name. I, Paul, do solemnly swear. Do solemnly swear. That I will support the Constitution of the United States. I will support the Constitution of the United States. And the Constitution of the State of New Jersey. And the Constitution of the State of New Jersey. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. And to the governments. And to the government established in the United States. Established in the United States. And in this state. And under the authority of the people. And the authority of the people. And that I will faithfully. And that I will faithfully. Impartially. And justly perform. All the duties. All the duties. As lieutenant. As lieutenant. For the Borough of Collinsville Fire Department. The Borough of Collinsville Fire Department. According to the best of my ability. And so help me God. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's a good job. So, I have had the good fortune to work, this is the third generation of jobs that I've had, been able to work with. Carl was our superintendent of public works before. Grandpa Joe lived in the house in Lake Park, was the kind of the gatekeeper, and those are days when different things got done in policing in the park. He kept control and really, but everybody knew who Carl was. And so we're really proud that the tradition goes on. Carl has been working, doing inspections for the fire department for some time on a part-time basis and what have you. Great. So, and on, raise your right hand. Yeah. I state your name.
I, Carl Young,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey.
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and to the governments
and to the government
established in the United States
established in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties as firefighter EMT
all the duties as firefighter EMT
for the Borough Commons Fire Department,
of the Borough of Taunton Fire Department,
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
so help me
so help me God.
Another jump in the borough. All right, let's do the next resolution, then we'll let everybody. Sure thing.
Brett Gates, Tyler Artis, William Minutes, and Brett Dunn.
So these are appointments of new police officers. This appointment will allow them to begin their time at the academy. Once they complete that time, we'll be back for swearing in of those officers when that time comes. So, yes.
Yes.
And you are, well, most of you that are here for the festivities, you are free to go. You're welcome to stay if you want to hang in for all the rest of the meeting, but you are free to go. I just ask you try to keep it as quiet as you can so that we can get through, just keep doing our business and keep rolling along, okay? Congratulations again to our firefighters.
Move this so it's easier for them to go that way. Okay. Does that work? It's nice, isn't
Okay, ready to deal? Yeah, cool. One is this one. Okay, all right, now you can keep these down, appreciate it. All right, let's roll. Go ahead.
Appointing Stephen Tuttle as a full-time civilian inspector for the Taunton Fire Department.
Yes.
Appointing Robert Velez as a full-time member of the Taunton Planning Board.
Yes.
Appointing Rusty Flecky as alternate executive member for the Borough of Taunton.
Yes.
Accepting Nathan John and Lisa County from Borough Asphalt Company for the year 2023 and maybe year under services of Barfield Dallas.
So this is a step in the construction of a road under a public works project where we are releasing the performance guarantee because the work has been completed. And now there's what they call a maintenance bond that's put in place that helps cover any expenses there might be if, you know, there's a crack or something happens in the roadway down the road. So they get rid of the big performance guarantee, which is the whole contract, comes in with a smaller maintenance bond. That's just, yes.
Yes.
Approving change order number 1, final for Moby Trucking and Paving Incorporated for resurfacing of Spring Avenue, Autumn Avenue, and West Summerfield Avenue project.
This is
A reduction.
a reduction. There you go. All right. Do you think the number final?
Yes.
That's my, yes, right.
Affirming the Borough Council's civil rights policy and signing of the group affidavit.
This is required annually, yes.
Yes.
Introducing and approving the 2025 municipal budget.
Okay, so tonight we're introducing our budget, been a bit of an effort this last year, and I want to just spend a couple minutes talking about. Some issues with the budget. So, yeah, no, I'm good. So the big hurdle and the big obstacle this year are what I'll say are still kind of pandemic hangover issues. Still issues with respect to coming out of the changes in the business community, in the world, with respect to hiring employees, retaining employees, all those things that are affecting the private world, the private industry. Same things going on in the governmental industry. Probably the top is police officers. Not only pandemic, but also issues that went on during the pandemic. There's no longer the long lines of applicants to become police officers. Same with firefighters, it's become very difficult. Every municipality I know is struggling with attracting and retaining police and firefighters. So what it has let us do this in the last 6-7 months, is we have finalized and reached agreement on our police collective bargaining agreements and our firefighter collective bargaining agreements, and kind of undone the work that this governing body did 10-15 years ago to achieve cost savings by lowering salary scales. We now have had to go back to change the salary structure to increase those salaries in order to attract candidates and to retain those candidates. Tonight we appointed 4 police officers. Every meeting, we're swearing in 1 or 2 police officers, and we're not changing our numbers because we're losing officers and we're replacing officers. So this change that we've done in these collective bargaining agreements are going to put us in a much more competitive marketplace. We think it's going to be very successful in attracting and retaining firefighters and police officers. Comes at a cost. Our police salaries our compensation packages will increase this year by $1 million. Firefighters, it will be $200,000-300,000. Okay, so we have huge hurdles on the budgeting in order to make those changes to keep the service that we have, and also to not break the bank. Okay, so the budget we're introducing tonight, we have made changes, adjusted other line items. There was a private grant writer we were going to bring in. We're not doing that. We did a lot of changes and cuts in the overall budget so that the increase for the average homeowner this year under this budget is $70 a year. Okay, so and that number after the reval, our average property value went from $230,000 to about $440,000, $450,000. So the average increase is roughly $70. And my hats off to the work that not only we did, but Cassandra, Betty Jo, our CFO, the collective bargaining units, the work that was done, because this was while there's increases in this was a very different negotiation. It was a cooperative because the bargaining units wanted to make sure that things were done for the betterment of the department, so that we made sure that we attracted and we hung on to good personnel. So I want to thank them for their help in this. And so this budget's introduced, the public hearing will be, we're scheduling it for March. No guarantee it is March because we have to wait for, the state to give us a final okay and tell us we can move forward. Okay, so that's what the budget is. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to echo your thanks, of course, to our super staff, but to the bargaining agents, you know, contracts are not always easy, and we try to be as transparent as we can. And really work on the solutions, and it's a credit to the unions, the associations, that we were able to come to a solution relatively easy. And, you know, I think we have to realize that losing people comes at a cost too. To keep going around and around to find, recruit new people, hire new people, that it's the Lord saying, stop talking.
We only do that before.
So thank you, yeah. Should just carry one around wherever I am, Barbara will take.
Anything you want to add? You good? Okay, all right, go ahead.
It's gonna be a roll call vote, Mayor Nelly,
Yes.
Commissioner Wojciechowski.
Yes.
Commissioner Robinson.
Yes.
Confirming compliance with NJAC 5:30-7 and conducting local a local examination in 2025 municipal budget.
So the state ordinarily reviews budgets of every municipality, goes over them all, make sure they're all okay, and gives approval on it. If you've been good and done them well, you get a gold star and you get to do what they call a self-examination. So that's what this simply is saying that we'll be doing that self-examination of the annual budget. It lessens the review at DCA for final approval of the budget. They just take a cursory look at it and then we'll be able to move forward. Okay? Yeah.
Yes.
Authorizing raffle licenses to Collinswood Rotary, Children's Dyslexia Centers, and Collinswood Civic Collective. Yes.
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 Authorizing the re-advertising for bids for the gateway to downtown Collinswood and rejecting the bids received on November 26, 2024.
So this is the transportation grant stuff. Is that what this is? Is it
Bump out at Atlantic.
the bump outs? Okay, so this is for additional work we're doing on the bump outs on, the main one is Atlantic and Collins Ave, where we've had those kind of temporary posts for over a year. This is to do the construction work to redo that. There were some fights among the bidders when they submitted, and so we did not award to avoid any legal filings. And so we're gonna re-advertise, go back out, and hopefully we get cleaner bids that comply so that we can award to get that project moving. Okay? Yes.
Yes.
And approving the payment bills to the general water and sewer accounts.
Yeah.
Yes.
Some things coming up. Collingwood Community Theater is presenting Freedom Friday, and that is Friday, Saturday, this weekend, and next weekend. I'd like to thank everybody for their hard work, Lindsay specifically, person, for the gala. It was a beautiful success. We raised another $10,000, and that paired with last year's $10,000 raise will take us on our way to our inclusive playground equipment. It doesn't cover the whole bill. Equipment is extremely expensive, but it's been a long planning process, and we are much closer to being able to start that and get those installed. And we have the Valentine's Day special for downtown for the bid. So we have a sweetheart basket valued over $1,200, $500 coins in cash. So shop your local stores and enter to win. There's entry forms at the stores. Good luck.
Well, just want to give you a couple of library updates, first of all. I heard they call this the Lewandowski law, but starting in December of 2024, the library has changed their policy, and they no longer review fees for regular collection, books, CDs, DVDs. Listen, folks, still want you to bring your stuff back on time, be a good neighbor, be a good patron, and do that. But, you know, this is sort of an important thing, does not include everything, museum passes, interlibrary loans. Other libraries to help us are still there, but we feel like this is a good thing to take care of, especially those extended use fees for patrons. So just wanted to let you know that that's there, and thank you to the library board and staff for that. MLK Day, if you remember, it was a grubby day weather-wise, but you know, we had some great turnouts, some great activities at the library. One of them, though, because of the weather, Community Quilt was something that we were having folks working on that day. It continues. So if you have children, 8 or over, they can make a panel for Community Quilt that will be on display at the library and possibly at other events. Get younger kids, you can do it as a family event, but it's kind of a neat way. You don't have to have any particular skills, it's iron on stuff, but just want to let you know about that. February 15th, oh my God, it's a family bird walk. How fantastic is this? So, you know, one of our great volunteers, Renee, is going to lead a walk through the neighborhood to count birds. This is part of our participation to the Great Backyard Bird Count. So, you know, come dressed for the weather, no registration required, but that's, you can find all this at the library website, onslow.com, it's all over. I'll say Maker Day, because that's in March. I'll say kids financial literacy, that's starting in spring too. Lots of good things at the library that can. So that's what I got.
Thank you. Few different things. One is, the work on the DPW, the new facility DPW is moving ahead very well. We expect that Public Works will be moving to that location this month by the next meeting we think they're gonna be in. We do, we think it's gonna happen, yeah. And with that, the other moving that's happening is before the pocket park gets started, Sarah's Produce will be moving around into the building in the back. It's gonna be their new home. You know, Sarah's in the back of the pocket park sitting out front. I want to share with everybody, Cassandra and I met last week, a week or so ago, following up on a meeting like in last November with new leadership at Habitat for Humanity. They have been talking to us and trying to kind of expand their reach outside of the city of Camden and get to more of the suburban areas. And we had hoped to have an MOU together for tonight, but we probably won't have that together until next week. We're going to form a partnership with them in terms of working with us on converting more of our rehabilitation of properties into affordable units, working on a program that they have funding for, can get funding for, that will help with, I think the target's gonna be seniors who would be income qualified to help them with code violations on the house, make some repairs to the house. We did something very similar to this practice here. A long time ago, the neighborhood preservation program that we got state funding on the west side for had a really good success because we were able to leverage it with a county program, a couple of programs to give a senior that needs some help, the ability to get some either free money, or usually there were loans that you had to be in the house for 5 years and then the loan was forgiven. But we're working with them on that. And then the third prong of this is with abandoned properties. We've been in a relationship with St. Joe's Carpenter Society for a few years now. They do what they can. Right now, I think we have one property that's under construction, but we're hoping to expand that habitat because they get free labor. They get all you folks to come out and help them out. So we're hoping to expand that to get a little more activity with them. We expect March. We think we'll have an MOU together in March. So that's all I have. This is the public session. Anyone have anything you want to bring for the commission? This is your opportunity to do so. Sure. David,
Steve Swayze, 439 Patton Avenue. Just an update over the weekend, I met with the Board of Education to present our work on school budgets, state funding, local taxes, and the relationship between them. We also shared our website with you all, as well as folks in town to help inform the discussion and build on our shared knowledge base. We've been very happy with folks asking questions and showing interest. Throughout the last month, we learned that many other districts and towns are going through similar struggles and conversations. We are continuing to seek solutions at the state and local level to properly fund our schools and pay staff fairly, and I appreciate your time in addressing these concerns. I do have a question. There is no pressure to answer tonight. I've been learning more about the CAP Bank, and I read that the CAP Bank could be additional property tax revenue for the borough. If that's the case, could this be part of future conversations in allocating a portion of those funds supporting our schools? Thank you.
Sure, so what that means, thanks for your words, Steve, but what that means is we just raise taxes. Right? The cap bank says you can go over what the cap is. And so we would just, like we talked before, like we would just add another $500,000 to our budget, okay? To go to, to write a check and give it to the schools. That's all, it just means raising taxes.
I
I've said a few times to you, the school board has that same authority,
Well,
okay? They have the
I'm not gonna
same-
speak for them, but they have limited authority. And my question is, for the amount of money that you can raise through the local tax levy, can a portion of that be contributed to school operating budget? That is what my specific question is.
And the bank, if it's the banking of the, you asked, the specific question was the banking of the cap.
Yep.
The banking of the cap means we didn't raise the taxes that high.
Yep.
So by using up that bank.
Yep.
We would raise the taxes all the way up to the max. Increase the taxes.
Yep.
And then turn that money over to the school.
Yep.
So can that be done? Yes,
Yeah.
it can.
Thank you.
But you mentioned operating expenses. I think operating expenses are difficult, because those are continuing. And if you intended something for 1 year, you have to make sure that it's continual. And if it's not, the school doing what they're statutorily supposed to do, which raise their own stuff for their operating, it gets difficult. And if that money comes in from us, that also sends a signal to the state to say, oh, you're getting some aid that's not normal, that could affect their decision on what they give us. So we can end up giving money from residents to the school district, and the state could go, okay, well, then if you're paying it, we'll go less. Like, those risks are out there. I think, and we've talked about, especially around the rec plan, where we have shared interests in recreational facilities and stuff, is capital plans, because capital plans, first of all, they have joint use and, provide that value, and then there's sort of a discrete thing that we're paying down, right? So eventually that comes off the book. So I just want to sort of mention, that's me personally.
Yeah, and we've said that that's what how we set up the last pilot, like if we're holding those funds, the idea was to do it on capital projects, so that the schools would have to pay for that. Okay, that's all. So, very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure. Anyone else? Yes, name and address.
Yeah, Julie Slater, 819 McGill Avenue. I think if Collingswood is where we want to be, then we know that schools are part of that. And we also know that you guys are not in charge of that, but you are like adjacent to it. So I guess I feel like to kind of follow up in a sense is, what can the public do to help facilitate these negotiations? Because I hear you have you have pilot money, right? But I guess, and I hear that the Board of Ed wants to work with you guys. So I guess my question is, as a concerned citizen, how can we help make that happen? Like, how can we help? So, and what are you guys gonna do to find out from the public if we would like those taxes to be raised for that reason? Like, is there anything that you guys are planning? I know we've done tons of surveys about other stuff, right? So what kinds of things can we do to keep Collingswood where we want to be, which includes the schools, which again, you have a small part of? I think that's two questions there.
Well, let me just address it this way. No one from the district has ever spoken to us, mentioned asked a question about having the borough fund in any way, anything at the schools. Never, okay? That's never happened. So we're happy to have the conversation, okay? It keeps, we keep going over kind of the same things where we talk about it at town forums. That for me, the entity that spends the money should be the one that raises the money. And they have that authority to do that. Like if I'm gonna go out to the taxpayers here and say, we're gonna increase your taxes $500,000, it's going to the schools. I don't know what they're gonna do. It's going to them, okay? Like, to be responsible, the borough would want, I'd love to have that discussion. We can sit and talk about it. What are the needs? I'd love to go over the budget. I think you were here when I went through what we've done with this year's budget, okay? Like, we're increasing $1.3 million our operating expenses this year, but we've made cuts in other areas to balance that budget so it doesn't break the bank. And that's what usually happens. And I don't know the school budget inside out. I don't know, well, I don't know where they're at, but we're happy to have that discussion. No one from the schools have ever raised it with us. We have raised with them, oh my gosh, 2 years ago, before we started the rec plan, that we would be dedicating pilot money to do fields and do rec stuff that we would share, we would do them all together. Told them that 2-3 years ago, before we started the rec study, like, that's part of the plan, we've laid it out there, we've said it publicly over and over again. And we're not sitting on piles of money. It's just not, I know that's how it's portrayed, but we're just not. I know, but well, you asked the question, because we heard, that's all.
Like the surpluses that we have in our budget were required to have. It's not fun money necessarily, and we do have plans to reach out to the school board and have a conversation with them. That is in the very near future, and with every attempt we can make to build a relationship with the school.
And
the district. Yeah.
I was just gonna say, I think we all agree, that we want the best schools possible for our kids. We don't want to overstep our boundaries. They're elected, there's 11 people with two other, Senate districts, 5 people that are elected to the positions. And if you want me just to go in there and take over and do it, of course I can, right? But I am asked that all the time. Why don't you do that? Why don't you fix it? Not you, I'm sorry, not you, but that comes and I'm as frustrated. And by the way, my 3 kids went through, I'm very happy with the education. In spite of there being challenges back then and challenges now, I'm very, and I hope that people that are here or considering me here understand that these are special. This already is a special school. And there's great things. Can we do more? Can we do better? Yes, I think we should. We should always be looking for that. And willing to be a part of it. I think what you said is how do we do it together is an important part. And I feel like it's the only way. Some of that might be budgetary, but some of it might be creativity. How do we use volunteers? How do we use parents? How do we use anything, to improve, the education that students get, the environment that they learn. Those are all important things. So thank you, by the way. I don't want you to think that it's,
Yeah, I have to believe there's a partnership to be had. There has to. Can't just be. It can't be two entirely separate. And we have.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay, anyone else? Go Bird!